Hello again, my friend. Welcome to episode 2 of Panama's Coolest Neighborhoods. Today, for whatever reason, I've decided to talk to you about beautiful, lovely Casco Viejo, also known as Casco Antiguo. I took a walk for like 3 hours, so you owe me. That was an act of love because it was hot. Anyway, before we jump into the tour, the walking tour, as I promise you I will be doing, I want to take you back to what we talked about, discovering our lovely Panama. Te amo, Panama. 10 provinces. You know, in the last video, I kept confusing district and provinces. Hopefully, I get it right this time. 10 provinces. Panama always say being the newest province. Each province, like a state in the US, is divided into districts, which I would say you could compare to counties, right? And then within the counties, you have different towns, which we call corregimientos or neighborhoods. Panama, and I know, let me dispel the confusion. Panama, the country, Panama, the province, Panama, the district, and Panama City within the district of Panama. Who thought of that? I have no clue, but that's the way it is. So Panama City, the district of Panama has 26 neighborhoods, all right? And the province of Panama has 6 districts. And I've done the research for you. Panama City itself is a district. Then we have the district of Balboa, and it is not what you think. It's not Avenida de Balboa where I live, no. There is a district of Balboa. I'll talk to you about that a little bit later. San Miguelito is its own district, and it's huge. Then you have Chepo. You know, I would see those buses with the sign Chepo, and I'm like, where is that? Well, it's its own district, and it's about an hour, hour and a half outside of the city, like going to, from Albrook. They say you take the Inter-American Highway. No, is it? Yes. And then you get there. One of these days, I am going to get on one of those buses. And then you have the district of Taboga. Did you know Taboga was its own district within Panama? The Panama province? Yes. And also Chima, let's see, Panama City, Balboa, San Miguelito, Chepo, Chiman, and Taboga. All right, so if you didn't know, now you know. So now the neighborhoods within Panama City, since I live in Panama City, and I want to tell you some of the names. And I've been through either through with the Uber or a bus. Okay. So the 26 corregimientos, meaning the neighborhoods in Panama, include, okay, let me go next to it. 24 de diciembre, 24 de diciembre. I went there from Metro line number 2. You passed and I got off. I'm nosy like that, so I did that. Alcalde Diaz is another one, very much in the north end of the city. Uncon, which is where Albrook Mall is, not the causeway. Yeah, when you go to Sabroso, Panama, that is part of Encon. Bay Vista, we all know Bay Vista, a lot of us live there. Betania, I took a drive through there. Caimitillo, again, way north. Caledonia, kind of close to Cinco de Mayo in that area. Those are neighborhoods, okay? Chilibre, I took a bus one time that went to Corredor Norte, and I passed by there. And Surundu is on your way to Albrook. That is its own little neighborhood on the right. You can't miss it. Don Bosco is, let's see, when you go down, what's that road? Oh, Lord. It's toward the north end, and it's its own neighborhood. I also took a drive-through on the bus. El Chorillo, which is next to Casco Viejo. Ernesto Cordoba Campos, that's another little neighborhood on the north end of the city. Juan Diaz, also, I got on a bus and, went through there. Las Cumbres, I have not, if I have, I'm not aware of it, little area. And then, we're still going. Las Garzas, I don't know where that is. Las Mañanitas, yes, I've been on the bus and passed there. Pecora, I have not been there, but I've seen it, the sign on the bus. Parque Lefebvre, yes, we've been. Parque Lefebvre is next to Rio Abajo. Pedeglar, I've passed through on a bus. Pueblo Nuevo, yes, the metro has a stop there. Rio Abajo, of course. San Felipe, did you know that was a whole neighborhood? It's not just a market. San Francisco, we all know about San Francisco. San Martin, I didn't know about San Martin. And then Santa Ana, where I got pickpocketed. I know where that is. I'll never forget that one. And Tocumen, going past the airport. All right. Now, some of those areas, as I said, I have passed through, but the one that I have not, I am committing myself to checking it out, just like I usually do. I'll get on a bus and I kind of wait, see where everybody gets off. When the when the driver, I said, Ultima Parada, is that the last stop? He said, yes, so I get off too. And then I look around, and usually I just cross the street and take the bus back. I'm talking an hour and a half, long rides. And I was like, wow, like Siesta, there's a little area called Siesta. I loved it. I saw people who look like me there. That was amazing. All right. So now we know that Panama has Panama, the province, 6 districts, right? Now, Panama City, we know. This is what we just talked about. Now, Balboa district, you might have thought it was Avenida de Balboa. That is just a street. There is a Balboa area outside of Ancon where, where the ports are. That is a, Balboa area. That is not the district. The district of Balboa includes a bunch of islands. Yes, like San Miguel, Isla del Rey, Saboga, which is where Contadora is. A lot of you love to go to Contadora. La Esmeralda, La Enseñada, Pedro González, La Guinea. So it's an archipelago. So next time you hear about Balboa district, you'll say, I know where that is, right? Now, I don't think I want to be on a boat for an hour and a half. That's why I haven't been to any of those islands. I do not like to be on a boat. I don't like the wave and jumping up and down. No me gusta. So I stay on dry land. But now I have earthquakes. Okay. And then, so San Miguelito, I've driven through there. Chepo is another one. I told you, I see the buses, but it includes different neighborhoods like, what is it? Lake. I forgot the name of the lake. Bayana is a large lake. This is the second artificial lake after Gatun Lake. So it's pretty large, okay? You have Las Margaritas, San Cristobal. Now, this is a funny story. I saw a lady on Instagram who was selling some Gunayala stuff. And I was like, oh, I would love to get some. Where are you located? She said, in San Cristobal. And I'm like, I can't find it on Google Maps, and Waze couldn't find it. Uber couldn't find it. So I'm like, where is San Cristobal? What parada? And I made sure that I think she didn't respond. She probably was like, this woman doesn't know what she's talking about. It's in Chepo, San Cristobal in Chepo. That means it would take me an hour and a half by bus to get there. When I go to Chepo, I'm probably going to check her out because she does have a store. Torti, Carnita, Chepillo, Santa Cruz, they have all these areas there. And those areas outside of the city, they tend to be a mixture of heavily indigenous and some other groups. In fact, I posed a question to chat and it's like, no, you would think that, but they do have Afro-Panamanians over there. So I can't wait to go to Chepo. And I will report to you if I do go. Okay? All right. So we know about the districts and we know about the corregimiento, the neighborhoods. Now, when we get to Casco Viejo, I will show you the map because Casco Viejo is in the corregimiento of San Felipe. All right. I did not know that, but San Felipe, Santa Ana is its own, and San Felipe is its own. All right. So this story about Casco Antiguo. Now, I'm asking for forgiveness if I say anything that is not historically appropriate. If you live in the area or you're a history buff, please feel free to correct me. I'm just excited to share Casco Viejo with my folks. So if I say anything that's not way off the wall, please correct me kindly, okay? Now, the story is, in fact, there is going to be a program on TVN, the main TV station, on Tuesday, August 14th, 16th at 7 o'clock, where they're going to talk about the whole history of how Casco Viejo became Casco Viejo, because the original capital of Panama City, or the main spot, was where Panama Viejo is now. And not rumors, but I've read different recounts of what happened. Apparently, there was some kind of a pirate, a Welsh pirate who wanted to come and invade that particular area, the capital, and then the person in charge decided to burn it before the pirate could get to it. Okay, so that's quite a story. So they moved the capital to where Casco Antiguo is right now. And Casco Antiguo itself was destroyed partly by some fires. In fact, there's a building where you can see the shell of what used to be there. And I think it's great that they kept it, okay? So it is only about 40, 16 hectares, 40 acres wide. So it's not big. And it has, anyway, first of all, Casco Antiguo, now that it's become the historic part of Panama City, initially, you know, they were just trying to build it up, and now it's got like 3 main roads and then 10 shoot-off roads. So it's not that big, all right? And it says 40 acres. And I don't know how big 40 acres is, but it's not that big. And it was founded in 1773 after the invasion from that person in 1671. And then in 1977, it got designated as a UNESCO heritage place. So it's, you know, whoever is coming to visit, they've got that history, and we're so proud of that, okay? So now, through multiple development, Casco Antiguo is now a big draw for visitors. It is the second most visited spot in Panama after the canal. It doesn't matter where you go, what time of the year you go to Casco Antiguo, there are always people on foot. It's got those cobblestone streets, and it doesn't really have sidewalks, but it's very walkable. And if you were to do a loop walking, it's only about 2 miles. So this is perfect for somebody who wants to stay in shape. So the 3 main roads are Avenida A, Avenida B, and Avenida Central, and then everything else offshoots. Proximity to Mercado de Mariscos, proximity to Cinta Costera, San Felipe Market. So, but remember, Casco Viejo is within San Felipe. It is next to El Chorillo, and it's also next to Santa Ana, where I got pickpocketed. As I said, I'm never going to forget that. All right, so before I take you on that walk, again, have a drink, relax. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and go for a visit. I think most people have been to Casco Antiguo, but the reason I want to talk about it is because Casco has changed to not just being a tourist spot. It is quickly becoming a neighborhood with people who live there and want to protect their way of life. All right? So sit tight, enjoy the ride. I'll see you in the next video. Au revoir. À la prochaine. Bye. All right, so welcome to beautiful Casco Viejo or Casco Antiguo, where you have a very distinct historic architecture and ocean view. So we started here. This is the intersection from the metro stop going towards, you got to cross that to go towards Casco Viejo. And here I am, I got off at about 8:30 or 9. Look how beautiful it is. This is, I don't know what that little thing is again on the left. Look at all the greenery. So we are heading towards Casco Viejo, and I believe this is called Cinta Costera 3. So I crossed the road. It's always, you got to figure out how to cross that road because boy, oh boy, it gets real busy. So I decided to move to the right-hand side, and then there was no shade. There was no shade. I did wear a hat. In this particular area, sometimes there are some homeless people, so I'm always very careful about how I go around. Yes, I am walking towards Casco Viejo on the Cinta Costera 3. And there's usually like a little park here, and there is like a children's area where they play. So I am walking, and of course I have the camera, and I'm very careful to head on the swivel. But when you are walking inside or through Casco Viejo, you are taken aback by the beautiful architecture. And I can just imagine what it looked like, years ago. It is just a beautiful place. And again, the reason I am showing you Casco is that it's becoming a hot spot for people to stay there, especially younger folks. I remember years ago when I was considering an Airbnb, people discouraged me from staying here. They're like, no, it's too noisy, they have bars. But if you are young, it's not gonna be that big a deal. I am trying to figure out, do I cross this busy road or not? You take your life in your hand. And across the street, I could have cut across. There is a nice little park. And then towards the end of it, and they have some indigenous people selling, artisanal stuff. But I decided to just give you the longer view. So I'm walking. I did cross over. And we are now entering what I call, this is where it begins really, but structurally, when you were further back at Mercado de Mariscos, and look at this sign, it tells you you are at the entrance of the city, of the area. And I am on the left side of the street going up, and again, crossing the road is a little tricky. And this is like a parking spot because parking is an issue in this area, but this is a parking garage. And I think you do pay per minute or per hour, right? And on the left-hand side also there is a park. There is an old Chinatown on the right. We passed it, but when it's Chinese New Year, they have all kinds of stuff on the left-hand side. I did not go in. There was a group there. But I'm showing you the architecture again that I'm in love with. You know what's beautiful over here during Carnival? Oh my gosh. Well, Carnival as I knew it 2 years ago. Last year Carnival was terrible. It was all about music, people playing music. There was no parade. I was so disappointed. I hope they don't mess me up again this time. Because I love the parade and the bands. All they had were musical stuff. I was like, this is not what Carnival is supposed to be. Vámonos. Let's see where we are now. Yep, we're still like on, yep, giving you the view. Oh, look at that. But I don't believe that, oh, my camera just went really white there. I'm not sure why. But look at that tree. I was going to show you. When you turn left there where I'm going, if you go straight, this is where the presidential palace is, and it's very well guarded, and they will not let you go through, so everybody has to turn right. And I think that's Avenida Bay. I think I took a picture of that. If you see someone in the left lane, they have official business there. So we turn left. Look at this building. Look at that. And you know, in a historical place, you have stores at the bottom, and then you have homes on the top. Yeah, that's a little busy area. I wouldn't want to live there. And lots of development. A lot of the buildings are in some type of reconstruction, which is nice. I wish they would do that in Cologne. Tentalo is a rooftop restaurant that is very popular. And when I was visiting, I would always look at that school. It's like Mexico, Escuela de Mexico, to kind of figure myself where I'm supposed to be heading out. There were lots of walking tours going on. Look at those streets. Aren't they cute? Oh, I love it. Oh, and the popos were having coffee. El Café. You cannot be Panamanian and not have coffee and pastry in the morning. Whew, look at the streets. Aren't they cute? That was Allura Cafe. And you know, I tend to keep the camera looking up because I want you to see what, oh yeah, you know, I'm into doors. Look at that. Oh, yes. Yes, I want you to see what the apartments, you know, might look like. I don't know from the inside, but look at that. And now more pretty doors. All right, so I am heading towards Santa Maria de la Antigua, Centro de Salud de San Felipe. That used to be a clinic, but it's not in operation as far as I know. That would be a building that somebody could do a lot here. Maybe a hospital? But they're thinking, you know, tourists, at least an emergency center. I did not see any inside Casco. So if somebody knows of a clinic in the area, let me know, please. This is a typical tourist spot where you have all kinds of things for sale, including hats. You know, Panama is big on hats. Lots of restaurants. You know, I thought I had turned off the sound in these videos, but sometimes I mumble under my breath as I was as I was recording, and I was trying not to. Calle de Santiago. I wanted you to see that. Now this place, Casco Antiguo, the traffic, oh my goodness, could be crazy. Especially if there is an event, forget it. So I usually just walk over. Because sometimes the Uber doesn't even want to come pick you up. They know they won't be able to get in, and it takes them so long. This is Plaza Catedral. That's where we are right now. El Nacional is a very Panamanian restaurant. I got in later on to ask a question. It's not that big. And Casco Antiguo has several plazas. You know, like if you were in Italy, they would call them piazzas. But they would have different ones. I think we have 4 or 5 here. Plaza Catedral, Plaza La Independencia, Plaza Bolivar, Plaza General something. They have several. But here, if there is some kind of political, you know, protest or whatever, they'll be here. See, they're talking to the president. They said to the president, you got rid of something. So they've gathered. This is the cathedral. I love that building. This is the main cathedral here in the city. And the Archbishop is always coming over. Now this is where, you see, this is where the homes would be. Look beautiful. I wouldn't want to live here because it's always hopping. No. It's gorgeous. People are always having their pictures taken, including myself, yours truly. Yeah. You never get enough. They have concerts here. They've had ballet. And somebody's always playing something. Either they have a track going or somebody's singing live. All right, Maggie, turn the camera down. And this little thing here, there's always, I don't think I've seen weddings, but I'm sure they have weddings sometimes. But people are always sitting around. You see that, taking their picture. This lady was videotaping, telling her people what she's seeing. Aww. And we have quite a few trees, I have to say. All right. But the architecture, it takes your breath away. I mean, I never get tired of it. But every time I say, okay, I'm going to go to Casco and spend a quiet day, well, there's no such thing. And you know, I set off early because I didn't want to hit the crowds, but some people had the same idea. This is the Canal Museum, Museo del Canal. This is the museum you need to go that tells you the real history, including the invasion in 1989. So if you want to know the real stuff, and they have lots of pictures and artifacts, yes. Yeah, you enter through this side. I love that museum. Sorry, I hit a crowd, and of course I don't want to record their faces. That would be rude. Now remember, I'm not a photographer. I'm just doing this for you guys so you could see what a typical day is in beautiful Casco Antiguo. Oh, this is an emergency vehicle, yes. Lots of one-way streets in true Panama fashion, right? So I turned right, which would mean on the south side of Casco Antiguo. Look at balconies. Look at that. Look at the flowers, the plants. Oh, and I love the wrought iron. You know, the wrought iron work. That's typical of Casco. I think what I would worry about as a renter is, you know, people have posted where they have problems with electrical, plumbing. Yeah, this is what would concern me. I knew a sister, she was older, who had left an apartment in the city to move into Casco Antiguo. That's probably one of the reasons I'm showing it to you, because some people are making the move to Casco because of everything it's got. It's got lots of food, eateries, cafes, restaurant, rooftops. If you want a rooftop, yes, they do the bar crawl. People call that hopping from one bar to another. I wouldn't know anything about that, but that is where it happens. And then the music at night would be popping, and people are very, the staff of the restaurant, they are very polite. And I would assume that they are trained to deal with tourists, right? And it's not just American, international. As I was walking, I heard all kind of languages. This is the bus, the new electric bus. I did get on it towards the end. But then there's a new route inside Casco Antiguo. I was thinking if I wanted to live here, I would have to really map it to where it's an off street away from the noise, right? But I may end up paying a premium for an apartment like that. But they do have a lot of rentals here, a lot of Airbnbs. You know, that might not be too bad, but I like the flowers. Oh. Yes. So we're heading, is it east or west? You know, I get turned around with the map. I think it would be hard for you to escape. Casco Antiguo. I forgot what, I didn't even read what that was. Lots of stores. But they did have some kind of high-end stores where you could buy. So like this one is for the visitors, and then on the right they had like a little high-end, you know, jewelry and things that you could buy for yourself. But if they have an event, this is a school bus. I wanted to show you a Panama school bus. This one's a big one. They're usually much smaller. More apartments on the second or third floor. I don't think I've seen, I wonder what the highest building might be. This is a fancy looking store. So you could buy some stuff for yourself if you're a resident. Because, you know, they're thinking upscale, right? And if people are visiting, they have money to spend. Why not? More flowers. Yes, nice. So if they have an event in Casco, which is almost every week, or we found one church. Did I tell you also that they have like 7 historic churches here in Casco? And this is a tour. You could have a tour of the 7 churches. And I'm happy to say last year, I think me and another sister, we did see all 7 churches. And we were coming on a place where this lady was selling the bags. Uh-oh. You were selling saril. I'm not buying. Look at the mola bag. And I was looking at that. No, creo que mi amiga quiere una. Entonces, está tomando foto para mola. Yeah, this is a Gunayala lady. She was telling me about her bag because one of my sisters wants to get one of these bags. Oh, here's another one. Guna ladies. They had a group doing something here on the right. Lots of young people here. You know, I felt the same way when I went to Boquete. I thought I would only see older folks, but there were some young people there too. Now this street, look at these doors. Oh my goodness. That might be a nice little area. It was low tide. Point the camera down, Maggie. Yes. So I didn't see much of the sea, but at night it would be full. Yeah, I think I would stay here. But then I would be paying for the view. I've seen rentals. I've seen $950 to up to $3,000-4,000. I guess it depends on the location and the amenities. But again, I would be careful to make sure the building was fully refurbished, including wiring, plumbing, no appliances. That would be the only way I would consider moving over here, because recently they've had a couple of other, you see, se alquila, the sign says it's for lease. They've had recently a couple of fires. So yeah, it's a risk. But again, if you do your due diligence, you might be okay. So now we are heading towards Plaza Francia. This is a restaurant. I couldn't tell the name of it. Listen to the birdies. I think that's the causeway. Point the camera down, Maggie. I still need some help in that area. Look at those doors and windows. Oh my. Now see, I would be in trouble falling in love with that, the architecture, and not looking at. Yeah, that's the causeway. Woo. I've walked a little bit close. And then you get the Museo. Via Museo. There's another door. Oh. Okay. Another nice building. Oh my goodness. So remember, parking would be an issue. I told you about pricing, walkability, the history. Everything is in the heart. Everything is, it's like a central area, and you have proximity, a few stores. They have no huge, this is on the way out. They have no huge food stores. You got to be out to get that. I saw a pharmacy. Lots of development going on. But also some cons would be the noise and activity, so many people around, that you kind of have to drive or take an Uber. If something's going on, you stop. Uber is not even coming to get you. But this bus that they have is a good addition. But again, it gets stuck in traffic. You can't move if there's traffic. I don't know if I showed you, we have a national theater, we have several museums. It is really a lovely place to be. So if you ever want to consider, this is San Felipe on the right. That's where you go get your food and your meat and the veggies. There is a pharmacy inside. But I didn't see a clinic. So if there's a clinic, let me know. This is on the way out, just to show you what it looks like outside of Casco Viejo proper. So I think it's good to see, right? Lots of little places where you can buy fruits and vegetables. Yes. This is outside of Casco, so you need to know. I think this is Santa Ana, if I'm not mistaken. Taxis. So I enjoyed this little walk, and I hope you guys enjoyed the history lesson, the geography, the history of Casco Viejo. And next to Casco Viejo in Santa Ana, there's a huge development that just came up. Central, I think they call it Central, Grand Central, where they have swanky units that would be attractive to a younger population. But I don't know if I would want to live in Santa Ana. But developers probably have done their research and see the potential. So there is a bit of gentrification, of course, that's happened in Casco Viejo. Now I wish they would do the same to El Chorrillo. El Chorrillo is a whole different situation. And I probably will not be doing a walking tour there for safety reason, but this is on the way outside of Casco Antiguo. I was heading towards the metro station so I could get home. Yes. You need to see the neighborhood. You do. Look at that. But head on a swivel. Don't take your phone out. I wasn't on the bus. This was the electric bus, and that bus had a wheelchair lift. I was pleasantly surprised. And it is fully electric, so we are helping the environment. I'm so proud of Panama. And we're going underneath the overpass, and this is, I thought we were close to Mercado de Mariscos, but I think we passed it. Yes. I'm pretty familiar with that area because I am at San Felipe very often. In fact, I'm going to take a few sisters there tomorrow morning. So we get out. I reach out. I hope you enjoyed this, you guys. Let me tell you, it was so warm, and I hope you give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, because that took work. And it was, I mean, seriously, when I got home, I felt kind of weird. I had to hydrate, and it was just a long time outside in the heat. And you know, sister is vintage, so I have to kind of watch out. Okay, where are we turning here? Where are we? I'm trying to remember. Yep, this is our beloved Panama. No, it's not Avenida de Balboa, but this is Panama. All right? So, whatever ideas you had, this is our reality. Nothing to be ashamed of, but. All right, I want to leave you with this troubadour. This gentleman was just, he was serenading me, so enjoy it. So I'll see you in the next video, guys. Enjoy. This is Casco. Shaved ice. Raspadura. No, raspadura. Raspao. Gracias. No, I'm good. Thank you. Hola.
Quiero sangrar gota a gota. El veneno de su amor. Si veneno mi corazón,
All right, guys, this was Maggie from Single Women Retiring Abroad.